good. 2 weeks into the season, how do you see this offense moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, you go back to practice, we always try and focus on our fundamentals, and you can kind of see that. I think we've grown definitely from week 1 to week 2, and that's just the way Coach Ferentz in this program work. We're not going to be perfect at the beginning of the season, but towards the back half, we're going to be playing our best football, so that's what our goal is.
Running game specifically, what have you noticed over the first 2 weeks that maybe have improved specifically in the running?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the front we get, but I think, you come into practice, what we're trying to work on, especially as an offensive line, is just our fundamentals, our first step, and then our backside knee through. And I think each game allows us an opportunity to see new looks, and we get, like the personnel, we get a lot of looks from those guys. Iowa State gave us a great look. We just get to see a bunch of guys like that who give us, a run for our money. So being able to go up against them, really gives us a look, and I think we've improved in our run game.
Is there a confidence that this offense can, keep taking steps week by week no matter who the opponent is?
Yeah, I mean, I think you do that with practice each week. If you have a good practice, you're going to have confidence going into each game. And, I think it all starts from the top, which is Coach Ferentz. And the leadership on our team as well. So you got guys like Cade, Luke, just a whole bunch of leaders on our team that are really emphasizing, tempo and practice. If we have good practice, we'll definitely feel confident on Saturdays.
Going to your third game of the year, and you've had 2 games of it. It's looked like progress and growth. Does it feel like this is a game and an opportunity to maybe everything clicks and you have a big breakout performance across the field?
Yeah, I mean, we hope for a perfect game, but that's just not realistic. It's an imperfect game. There's going to be things that happen, and that's just part of the game, but it's how you adjust to those things and, go on the run and things like that. But, this week of preparation is huge. It's another week for us to get better, and hopefully come Saturday we'll play better than we did last week.
Well, 2 games in a row where the offense has started hot and then the second half kind of struggles.
Yeah.
How do you adjust and fix that?
Yeah, I mean, all we got to do is just continue to play. I mean, it's easy to ride the roller coaster of emotions. You're on such a high when you get big plays like that, when Jazz made that big run. But, you just have to stay, calm the whole entire game. People are going to make plays. That's what they do. We just got to block up front and then let our skill guys do what they do. And, we'll see what happens after that.
Is there ever a sense of, hey, we're 2-0, so we're winning, so that's good enough, or is it, as a lineman, do you think we can always improve and keep doing better no matter if we are?
Yeah, I mean, there's games where, we might have won, but we get in the film session and it's just absolutely awful. Coaches are on us and things like that. Then there's games where you lose and you played well up front or whatever the position is. So, I mean, the only thing you can do is improve. And I think that's the biggest thing that we really harp on is, each week come in, work on what maybe you struggled with the week prior. So that's just the way we work.
Maybe later in the season, seeing different routes and different complexes like that, so you can adjust them.
What was your first CyHawk experience like? We've heard the stories, and how was the atmosphere? How'd you hold up?
Yeah, that was electric. I mean, there's no other way to really put it. I think it was a super cool environment. It was fired up, and it was juiced up, and it was a fun game to play in. So I'm really thankful I got that opportunity.
You got to be pretty happy with how the defense is performing, I would guess, in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good, but I mean, there's always room for improvement. I know there's improvement that I have to make for myself. So every single week, we're just coming out here and trying to get better.
How have you adjusted? How do you feel like your game is adjusting to Iowa in 2 weeks now?
Yeah, I mean, it's still learning through all the ins and outs. Just making adjustments every single day. Coach Wallace and Jay have been really great in my development and within this scheme, and I think that every single day I'm just trying to be better for this team and for this program.
How do you guys not overlook what's kind of going on this week, knowing that there's a big matchup next week in Happy Valley? How do you guys kind of stay in the moment?
Because, I mean, when you play college football, especially in this day and age, I think anyone can beat you. And I think right now Western Michigan presents a lot of challenges for us already defensively. So we're dialed in and watching film every single day on them and trying to get ready for that game because we know this is an opponent that we got to play this week.
Maybe you've been asked this, but from a total defense standpoint, what was the biggest progress from week 1 and week 2?
You mean like the biggest change?
Where'd you guys improve at?
I just think that we were just better at communicating. I think that our communication got better from week 1 to week 2. We were able just to see what we were doing and adjust a little bit better. So I think that the communication aspect of it was a lot better.
I have a saying. Dejan Parker kind of brought it up. We have a few dictators who, in those games, who their voices are the loudest, so they always end up winning because they just kind of, talk over everyone. But yeah, a lot of fun for sure.
Is that dictator mentality of talking to everyone kind of translate to the field?
Not in terms of in terms of us, but yeah, I think that's actually a good point. I think in terms of like the mentality that we have as an offensive line, and this group that we have, like I said earlier, aggressive, physical, guys like to hit and like to kind of impose their will against guys for sure.
First 2 games of the season, first 2 drives of each game, the offense comes out firing, you score on each drive. From there, kind of struggling to find the end zone, get points. When you look at film, how close is this offensive side of the ball to putting together a complete game, to score more points?
Yeah, I think we're right there for sure, but got to go out and do it really, and that's what practice is for. That's what we've been doing, since the beginning of camp. So this is going on week 7, I think, of practicing together, and we're not gonna relent from that, and I think sooner rather than later we'll get there.
Logan said you guys were getting closer, and he thinks you guys will be a little bit better on the back half of the season with more time. How do you just kind of feel about the outlook of the season based on what you've seen through 2 games?
Yeah, to that point, any good Iowa team in the past has improved over time. They're never as good as in September as they are in November, October, and so we kind of have that mentality every day we come out to practice, just willing and able to improve and push that forward.
You guys have had a couple of explosive plays. You had Jazz's big run last week. Obviously, the touchdown to Seth week 1. How important are explosive plays to you guys getting to where you want to be as an offense?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something that we want to have, that we kind of emphasize, I guess you could say. But we're not going out every single play, trying to throw the deep ball or have a huge run. But it is definitely something that's important to us.
All right, 2 weeks in, how you feeling? How do you feel like everything is looked over the first couple weeks of the year?
Definitely excited to get the year going. Week 2, just feel like we've gotten better since week 1, obviously, and there's a lot of off-season football and long spring ball, long fall camp. So just having the opportunity to go against guys that aren't wearing the same jersey is always fun.
Is that part of your explosion in week 1, just the excitement of getting out there and getting a chance to kick somebody that's not in the Hawkeye uniform?
Definitely, and just playing in front of Kinnick, I just think that's probably adds +5 stamina to any player out there. Is just really excited to get going, get the senior year going in Kinnick. So excited to be back there this week as well.
Tell me what you know about Western Michigan, what you're going to see out of them on Saturday.
A little bit of Utah State and what we saw at Iowa State. They got some tempo, and I felt like we handled the tempo well against Utah State. I mean, those guys were going pretty fast, and I felt like our communication was handled well. And they got a new coaching staff, and they did really well week 1. And we respect all our opponents, and knowing that any offense we can play, how they can hurt us. So they're going to get our best game. We're going to come prepared as usual.
What was the biggest area of progress for the defense from week 1 to week 2?
Biggest progress, I'd say our ability just to communicate, getting in and out of coverages with the use of motions, and also just week 2 is early in the season, so we don't really know what we're going to get out of the offense yet. We watched the UNI versus Iowa State game, and they didn't give us much of what they did against those guys. So just when you're early in the year, Coach Wallace just says, be expected for the unexpected. So, we know the playbook's open week 3. Not everybody showed everything, obviously. It's just being prepared for those looks that you didn't get to see in practice and being ready.
Trying to get Lamar Derrick back this week too. How excited is Steve to get him back at just one more crucial element?
Yeah, he's in my corner in the locker room, and just seeing how excited he was to get back out there for practice. And I told him he's 2 weeks fresher than everybody else, so he should be out there flying around. But he's been having a great week of practice. He's out. He's happy. He's happy to be back. You can tell football means the world to him. So obviously, when he's gotten that opportunity back, he's just did nothing but run with it.
What's up, guys? What's up?
I don't think any wide receiver targets in the first half. The Caleb Brown pass, I know. And I think you got to catch in the second half, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. I think we got it. What are your thoughts there with the lack of targets for wide receivers?
I mean, obviously, I would like the ball every single play, but we won the game. We're 2-0, and that's all that matters. We have our goals for the season, and all we can focus on is getting the next win. And if the ball comes my way, the ball comes my way, and I'll just do whatever I can to make the play.
Is there something you guys as a unit can do to ensure that you are hitting the ball more regularly?
Just continue to get open, continue to build trust of practice, and when the ball comes your way, make the most of the opportunity so that there's just more trust in yourself. Mm-hmm.
What challenges does Western Michigan present?
They run a little bit of a funky defense with like 2 safeties coming over to one side sometimes, which could be a little confusing. But last week we saw a defense we see once a year, and so it's going to be like that all year where we see something new, and it's just on us to prepare and to get ready for the game.
We saw a few explosive plays. So 2-part question, like the Jazz run was one.
Mm-hmm.
2-part question is, 1, how do you get more of those explosive plays now that you see them? And 2, like how much of a boost does that give your offense for the next first and 10?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I don't know the actual number, but if you have an explosive play on offense, like your chance of scoring a touchdown like increases exponentially. I don't know what it is, but the way we could just have more is keep executing. I think if you watch the game, we were really close to hitting a couple other explosive plays that were really open, like blow the game open. Like we were up 17-0 at one point, and we were pretty close to having a couple real big plays that could have been ended up in points. And if that happens, it's not a 20-13 game anymore. It's a 34-14 game. So just staying locked in and continuing to work as hard as we can.
So the offense has started hot 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Third quarter coming around, and it's had some struggles. What do you guys do to fix that?
I don't know. Just continue to work, continue to prepare as best as we can, and when the opportunity comes our way, just make the most of it. Mm-hmm.
You've been in this position before, talking about the offense.
Yep.
And how does that help you get through times like this? I mean, like you said, you are 2-0. The offense hasn't maybe lived up to our expectations, but from the past, how much easier is it to deal with that now?
I mean, to be completely honest, I don't really care about like other people's expectations of the offense. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I feel like if you watch the game, you could see how close we are to becoming what we think of ourselves. And if we just continue to work and push, I think it'll come. I feel like we've got a taste of what our offense can be like if we stay locked in the whole entire game. But that's only going to come with like preparing 100% every single day and really focusing up, which I think we'll all see soon.
The outside world may not see it, but do you see the improvement on a weekly basis from the offense? Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen us moving the ball, and I see places where we almost had the big shot that all the fans and all the people want to see, like the big deep balls or the big runs, and we see it on film. We're this close to doing it. So we just know as time goes on and how we keep progressing and we keep getting the practice reps and we keep finding the little details, we'll get what we want to happen.
Has Cade bought you dinner yet? He said he owes you one after.
He didn't buy me dinner yet, but I'm making sure he will get me that. Run that tab up a little bit.
Definitely. You guys are 2-0, so
Yeah.
you haven't lost, but got to feel and as a full team that there's lots of room for improvement still.
Oh yeah, definitely room for improvement. Every week there's room for improvement. We're happy to be 2-0. That's the thing. We want to win every game, and so we're definitely happy to be 2-0. But we know there's a lot more we can do and a lot more we're going to show as we keep going.
Just kind of looking back at film from last week, you mentioned that it really does feel like you guys are almost there. I think it was the first time, at least for me, that I felt like maybe Cade missing the couple weeks of fall camp maybe just affected the timing a little bit. I guess, what have you kind of seen? Was it like that, or what have you just kind of seen when you've been that close?
Yeah, it's just I think it's just the flow of the game sometimes. It's just it can't be perfect every time. You want to be perfect. You want to hit those deep balls. You want to make those plays. But it's a flow of the game. So I have 100% confidence that he missed that one last week, but I bet you he'll make this one and throw the ball in the money this time, and we'll make the plays that we missed last week.
I guess how do you guys as a wide receiver room, knowing you guys have made really good strides since last season, I guess how you kind of stay patient with the process and wait for your opportunity? Just how do you stay disciplined in that?
Yeah, because we just know our opportunity is going to come. We're practicing hard every day. We're on the field practicing, we're playing well. So we just know when our opportunities come, we have to handle those situations. So just staying patient, staying the course, and knowing that when the situations do happen for us and the opportunities do come for us, we better make sure we make those plays.
I feel like after 2 weeks of progress on offense, if this is an opportunity, those opportunities really start popping this week. This is a chance, third time's the charm, maybe.
Yeah, definitely third time charm type situation. It feels like it could be something like that. But just every week getting better and knowing that after every game we gotta look back at the film, look where we missed at, and know that next time we can't miss those places or we're just degressing at that point. So we just know that we're excited to get back on the field on Saturday and keep practicing on it every day and get those things that we missed out on.